What's up, everyone? It's the Interview Queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch True Heel Heat.
What's up, True Heel Heat? True Heel Heat. What's up? True Heel Heat. All hands on me. Hello, everyone. It's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Rated Raw Review number 8. I prayed for this. Reviewing the January 29th, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw. And I am joined by the face and the ace of the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, your boy, always here with me, giving us his layout of all the bookings, apparently, as he's advertised, Romeo Anthony Cologne.
Bro, what a week, what a weekend. The winds of change, the injury bug. I cannot believe the Knicks are going to have to go a few weeks without Julius Randle. These injuries are out of control.
No other injuries, right? No other injuries that are important.
Oh, yeah, and the other stuff too. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah. But of course, we are here to discuss WWE Raw. We appreciate y'all if you are joining us live. We appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Show that appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And thank you so much for getting us to 12,000 subscribers. We appreciate the support. We reached our goal for Royal Rumble weekend, the first big weekend of 2024, and you guys showed out and helped us reach that 12,000 mark of subscribers here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. But if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell if you're a subscriber and you haven't done that, because we go live 6 days a week. My missus asked me, she was like, how many days do you go? Yeah, 6 days. 6 days going live. I went last week. So 6 days a week we go live here on the True Heel Heat.
That's just you on this channel?
Yeah, that's on this channel.
If you know SP3, you know he has other obligations too.
Absolutely. So we appreciate the support and sound off in the live chat. Let us know what you thought about last night's Monday Night Raw. And of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you can send a super chat donation. It is not exclusive to Will Chisholm. We appreciate Will Chisholm and all the support, but he can't be the only one. If you're only going to give back $1 or $2, it always supports us, gives back to the contributors that you see on screen, and it goes a long way to keeping the channel running and going of what we do here. So we always appreciate that. We got Eric Isaacs in the chat who says, "Hey, kings and queens." Thank you so much. We got Joseph Withit who says, "What's up? Hope everyone's good." We got Nikki Boy, the Negro Buck, who says, "What's up, my good brothers?" We got Alexander who says WWE taking major L's lately, injuries and lawsuits. But hey, like Corporate Officer 1 said, gotta focus on the positives. Are we gonna call him? Are we gonna call Paul Levesque Corporate Officer 1 now?
We don't know who's who.
I mean, you can. I'm good with reading tea leaves. That's all I will say. Nikki Boy saying, "Listen to y'all while I watch." 2015 New Japan. The days, the good old days. We got Negro Buck also saying, "Congrats on 12K." We got Safet saying the same thing, as well as Frantic World. Thank you guys. We appreciate
Thank you all.
the
You guys are True Hill Heat originals.
Absolutely. The OGs of the community. We appreciate y'all the most. And no, we appreciate all of y'all equal, but we appreciate y'all longer. Well, we got to talk about some of the major news going into Monday Night Raw before we even get into the major segment of the show. The plans for WrestleMania were already thrown in a loop following, the fallout of Vince McMahon and his allegations, as well as the lawsuit, and then his subsequent stepping down from WWE for a second time, and this time it seems like for good. Of course, that put a spanner into, because of this lawsuit and the allegations and what they alluded to and whom they alluded to, it caused some changes to the Royal Rumble. And apparently it's caused some changes to WrestleMania plans. Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio has reported that Brock Lesnar was originally supposed to be in the Royal Rumble before the lawsuit came out. And he was supposed to be eliminated by Dominic Mysterio, have the stare down with Gunther, basically the same booking that Braun Breaker did. That was all for Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was supposed to come out at the number 20 spot, and Braun Breaker took over for him. So the reason why Braun Breaker was eliminated by Dominic Mysterio is that Dominic was supposed to face Brock Lesnar at Elimination Chamber, and then Brock would verse Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 40. So that is all now gone. That is now scrap plans. And then we had the big drop. Just a few hours before Monday Night Raw went live, CM Punk, who was noticeably sluggish, and I even said it during our review of the Royal Rumble that it was noticeably that the last section of that matchup between Cody and Punk wasn't what I expected. It looked rough. It looked sluggish. It looked bad at sometimes. So the reason why that is that Punk was
you even stated during that you thought he might be injured, something like that.
Yeah, I definitely did, because I saw him immediately after he took the feature shot. He held on to his arm, and then he was on the apron for a little while. He took certain moves, but he always was favoring the arm. So I did notice that, and then it came out. Dave Meltzer confirmed it that CM Punk was injured in the matchup, has a torn tricep, and will be out because he will be getting surgery for 4 to 6 months.
It should be mentioned
which is on the long end,
right? It should be mentioned that in case people are wondering, it's not the same tricep that he injured in AEW. It's a different one.
Yeah. But his speech, we're gonna get into what he said on the show. It was very reminiscent of the first time he got injured in AEW. What we heard last night. But We got a couple of people in the chat joining us now. We got Queen Monet who says hello. She also says, I'm curious if they put Dom in a match at Chamber because he probably would have been murdered by Brock to be written off since his fiance confirmed they're getting married in March. Oh, okay.
Listen, the whole Brock plans, that would have been, kind of like a Maven Undertaker moment almost if Dominic eliminated Brock Lesnar. But who wants to see Brock and Dominic at Chamber? Did anybody want to see that? I don't. I don't give a flying fuck. Now, the Brock Gunther stare off would have been cool. But, Brock is probably going to go away for a little bit. I think eventually he comes back down the line when things have cooled off as much as they could cool off. I don't know. But it honestly probably works out better for Brock because maybe now it'll be Brock and Gunther for the actual World Championship instead of the IC title, where it could be a little more believable Brock wins.
Well, it's not. Brock's not working. Not working. Well, Dave Meltzer reported.
Right, no. I didn't say in the near future. I said way down the line. If Brock returns.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. That does make more sense as well. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that whole Brock stuff is just, it's very messy. Too bad that Brock's a creep because that would have been a big moment for Gunther to beat a bona fide like Hall of Famer.
Right. But that could still happen down the line, who knows? And maybe these plans, everything that's the dominoes that are falling, maybe that puts Gunther in a much, much different spot than he probably planned on. A better spot.
Yeah. We're gonna get into CM Punk more when we talk about his segment here. We got Nicky Boy, he says, I just thought that Punk was blown up, didn't even notice him favoring the arm. Nicky Boy also saying crazy that he tore his right tricep here and his left tricep in AEW. And Joseph Wood is saying his left tricep had him out for 9 months. That is true.
I want to give props to Punk for gutting out the rest of that match. That whole final showdown with all the Raw guys. Like, that's not easy with freaking torn tricep. He did a damn pedigree with a torn tricep. Like, wow, crazy. And that would have probably explained the rather simple elimination that Cody gave him at the end.
Yeah. We got Emmanuel who says, give the Brock plans to Braun. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind Braun versus Gunther because they can play up the fact that Braun is one of, 2 guys or 3 guys in WWE that's beaten Gunther since he signed with the company. Yeah, I think it's him, Ilya Dragunov, and I think there's one more. Is there one more?
I think there is, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But
well, I guess Chad Gable because he won by countout, I think. But he's one of 2 guys to pin Gunther.
Braun was outstanding in that Rumble. He shined. He needed that more than Brock Lesnar ever needed that. What the fuck does Brock Lesnar need to look good in a Rumble for? Braun Breaker, that did a lot for him in my eyes, and then probably the casual fans' eyes too. That doesn't really watch NXT.
Yeah. All right, keep coming with those comments. You can send those super chat donations. We will make sure that we highlight your comment on screen. But let's get into Monday Night Raw, which took place from Tampa, Florida. What did you think about the crowd last night for Monday Night Raw?
I thought it was good. It felt like, a lot of those people were the same people that were at the Rumble. So it's starting to feel like, I believe last year, Raw after Rumble was pretty good too. Like, it's starting to feel like Raw after Rumble is might be becoming a thing where, like, you see how Raw after WrestleMania's died down, like it's not as good as it used to be the old days. Raw after
Rumble. Now it's Raw after Rumble. Raw after Rumble is the new Raw after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
We saw Cody. I like the fact that they've been doing this more consistently of the basically what they do on like the NBA or NFL pre-shows of people arriving at the building. Showed Cody arriving at the building, Damage Control arriving at the building, Gunther and the gang arriving at the building. Then they talk about the first hour of Raw is commercial free, and then Pat McAfee comes out to the surprise of the fans. Gets a good reaction though. He Cole announces as Pat McAfee joins him at the commentary table that he and Pat McAfee will now be the regular commentary team on Monday Night Raw. And I was just like, Yo, what the fuck? What about Wade? What happened to? I'm good with Pat being back, but I didn't ask for Wade to be gone. But it was announced earlier today that now it will be Wade Barrett and Corey Graves as the commentary team over on SmackDown.
That's
Jesus, like,
Without
yeah,
Cole?
that's it. That's it.
What?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is doing the play-by-play?
Exactly. I was like, y'all having Corey do a lot. Y'all must really trust Corey
Graves?
if he's doing the play-by-play now.
That's weird.
It is.
I thought it was going to be Barrett, Graves, and Cole, and I was going to be like, "Damn, that's great. I love that. The three of them, that's fine." Because
I knew they wanted their whole thing. That was their whole thing with putting Kevin Patrick on the spot and him not really swimming. He put him in a sink or swim position because they didn't want Cole to do both shows anymore.
Oh man, well, because I love Pat McAfee, and I don't think you need Barrett there with McAfee. Like McAfee is enough on his own. Like he's going to take it over. But be interesting to see Barrett and Graves. I'm not very hopeful for this combo, but
me either.
Not by themselves.
Yeah, like I was hopeful that it would be. I was hopeful that if they were gonna have someone do WWE, it was gonna be Vic Joseph, and they have Vic work NXT and SmackDown, be the third guy between those two.
Right.
That
schedule can work.
It's
fine.
Yeah, you live in Florida, you do NXT, and then you leave on Thursday.
A couple of days off,
yeah, you leave on Thursday to do SmackDown, and then leave. You can either leave Friday night or Saturday morning. Leave out and be back in Florida and spend your whole weekend.
What does Vic Joseph got to do around here to get a damn opportunity again?
It's crazy to me why they don't do more with him, or is
and Barrett and Graves could have played like the heel baby face opposite the play-by-play guy. It's like would have been a nice combo.
Or maybe we get WWE learning from their mistake and this not working, and then they, instead of trying to steal Jordan Grace from TNA, they try to steal Tom Hannafin back.
He was good too.
He was great. He was great. They had him in the Michael Cole mode. He showed even more since he's been gone, and he showed a different side, and he can really do it. Like he's really good at it.
Listen, I prefer 2-man booths over 3-man booths, but you got to have a play-by-play guy in there.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's number one.
Around the Point Network saying I give it less than a month, the duo of Wade and Corey. Yeah, I'm not hopeful. I don't think anyone should be hopeful about that. We got Seth who says the SmackDown commentary with the Corey Graves as play-by-play would be trash. Yes.
Maybe they're like, it's SmackDown. It's only 2 hours. We hardly have matches on there anyway, so they'll be good.
No, we good. We'll have people fill in. They'll never know. They'll never notice.
I'm glad McAfee is on the show that's 3 hours because I need that energy for the 3-hour show. I need it all 3 hours.
That is true. He just got to work on his bladder.
His what?
His bladder.
Oh yeah.
We kick off the show with the music of CM Punk. Punk comes down to the ring, and he is, of course, wearing an arm sling. So you immediately heard the crowd kind of like deflate. Like they were like hopeful. But once they saw the arm sling and they saw like the serious look on his face, they like couldn't help themselves but to have a little sigh. But they cheered for Punk, cheering loudly.
He sold it on his face too, making his entrance. He sold the disappointment in his face.
Yeah, he couldn't help but smile seeing a young fan asking for an autograph. He gets into the ring and they're chanting his name. He says that he came very close, really close to winning on Saturday. He wasn't mad at anyone. He wasn't mad at Cody Rhodes. In fact, he wanted to congratulate Rhodes. It's not about what you deserve. It's about what you've earned, and Rhodes has earned it. Punk wanted to see him finish his story at WrestleMania, and Punk said winning the Rumble in back-to-back years was a great accomplishment. Not unlike the Tampa Bay Lightning winning back-to-back Stanley Cups. Of course, Punk had to get in a hockey reference. Punk didn't believe...
Obligatory.
Punk didn't believe in luck, but he did feel a bit unlucky. He tore his right triceps in the Rumble, and he thought maybe he could wrap it up and compete in Elimination Chamber, but he couldn't. He didn't want to let down anyone, but he didn't want anyone to also feel sorry for him. He said that his dream since he was a kid was to main event WrestleMania, but maybe that just wasn't going to happen. Punk spoke about a friend named Chad Gilbert who had cancer. Chad had a wife and a daughter, and he was never in a bad mood. That was real life. Punk's injury was just a flesh wound. He wasn't the best in the world because he always won. He lost more than he won. He pointed out his not so great record in UFC to attest to that. He fought in the UFC because it was his dream and it scared the crap out of him. He gets chants. They're really behind him at this point. The emotion from Punk was so real. He said it scared him as much as coming back after 10 years to a place he never wanted to leave. The dream of WrestleMania will continue to haunt him, but best in the world was a moniker that belonged to those who fight cancer, those who fight fires. Punk promised to keep going until the wheels fell off. This was just adversity, and he did not focus on those who were negative. None of the criticisms he heard mattered. And the fans really woke up. He says the fans woke up every day and they kept going to put foods on their tables, and he planned on doing the same. Punk said WrestleMania 40, it wasn't in the cards for him, but he was a Chicago Cubs fan, and he repeated a familiar phrase: there's always next year. This brings out Drew McIntyre to totally change the vibes of this segment.
Hater of the year 2024.
Hater of the year, Drew McIntyre, my hero, because this is exactly
my
what
favorite
this
wrestler.
He's my favorite person on Monday Night Raw, my favorite person in all of the WWE right now. Drew McIntyre, he comes out and he looks a little bit somber about what's happened to Punk. He said that he said some terrible things about Punk, but he says that he doesn't regret any of them, but he can identify with the words that Punk just spoke. McIntyre has never been much of a spiritual person, but I prayed for this to happen. I prayed for this, and it happened. The crowd boo him. This was great. McIntyre said he assaulted, he focused, he went after Punk because he could not let him win. McIntyre couldn't sleep knowing that Punk eliminated him, but after he heard the news of Punk's injury, he slept like a baby last night. McIntyre exorcised the demon that was CM Punk, and McIntyre would find a way to WrestleMania, and he would live Punk's dream again. This was, the heat, the delivery of Drew McIntyre was top notch. This was, oh my God, this was so good. And Punk's facial expressions reacting to it were so great as well. This was shot great. Then Punk gets into McIntyre's face. They have a little bit of a tense stare off. Punk says that his heart hurts more than his tricep does. Punk said that he would come back and main event WrestleMania, but he said that he would go through Drew McIntyre first. McIntyre went for a cheap shot, but Punk ducked it. He kicks him in the stomach. Punk tries to use his injured arm, but McIntyre headbutts him. Glasgow kiss. McIntyre then stomps on Punk's injured arm until the music of Sami Zayn hits. He hits the ring. He makes McIntyre bail. The fans are chanting for Sami. Sami goes and checks on CM Punk, while McIntyre stares on the outside, menacingly watching his work. And then they announce after the commercial break that Sami Zayn will go one-on-one with Drew McIntyre in tonight's main event. This was a fantastic opening segment. Punk's promo was his best individual work since he's been back in WWE. This was filled with emotion, with passion. He had a clear statement, a clear message that he wanted to put out there, and it resonated because it felt real. It felt believable. This was what we've been wanting from CM Punk. Like, we got it last week with the great segment with him and Cody, but this was on another level. And because it was real, it came from the heart because you saw it written all over his face. And then to have that then turn about, have that real emotion, and then turn it about and make it into an angle with Drew McIntyre coming out and taking all of that heat, making his heel character even better with his response to Punk's emotional speech. This was chef's kiss. This was pro wrestling greatness. They knocked this out the park.
Bravo. It's funny, we got like some genuine raw emotion from Seth last week, and now we got it again with CM Punk. The crazy timing with the injuries, and I remember, like, I like Punk congratulating Cody first, because remember Punk said, will we still be friends after the Royal Rumble to Cody? And so they are still. The emotion here, man. Jeez. Punk sold it. He had genuine emotion, talking about his friend with cancer, talking about his UFC career and inspiring everyone. And he got the crowd behind him, besides a few morons chanting, what? Fuck him. He said, don't feel terrible for him, man, but I do. Like, this black cloud that hangs over CM Punk, it's a vicious cycle. Return, get injured. Return, get injured. Return, get injured. It's insane. It's insanity. And like, he tries to, like, use the sports are his comfort. So he's like, as a Cubs fan, he's always next year. Like, I can relate. I'm a Jets fan. It's always next year. I can relate. Drew McIntyre hater of the year 2024. That too. People comparing CM Punk to Aaron Rodgers now.
No, I went immediately on Twitter and I said, yo, come to find out, CM Punk is Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
Yo, the way he's gotten injured the last couple of years, it's like Chris Paul. It was great. The beginning part of his career, didn't get too many injuries, had an injury or two, but he was able to push through it. But the latter half of his career is just injury upon injury upon injury upon injury, like Chris Paul.
Drew was great. That was such good heel shit. That reminded me a lot like MJF. I bet Punk was having like flashbacks, like, oh, this asshole slept like a baby. Punk was great too with his emotions. I mean, his facials. I love that line. My heart hurts more than my tricep. He's coming for Drew. That's a great hook. If Drew is still around by the time CM Punk gets back, that'd be great. Great heat for Drew, and Sami got a little bit of a babyface rub here, being the hero, saving Punk from the beatdown. Listen, I hope Seth, man. I hope Punk. I hope he gets his WrestleMania main event. I'm thinking Seth because I hope he gets his too, like, obviously. But it's hard to stay positive when he's genuinely so unlucky and he just keeps getting older. But it's funny, like, finish the story like this, like that's Cody's thing, but now it's becoming CM Punk's thing. Now he has his own story to finish as well. I won't count him out. He sounds inspired and motivated, and I'm rooting for him. And the Drew stuff, like, I don't think you tease that unless you have a good idea that you're going to resign him, because that's a hell of a program for Drew if Punk comes back. When Punk comes back.
Yeah, we got Emmanuel in the chat who says, if Drew isn't re-signing by WWE by now, they need to get on it, because my guy has been cooking since they turned him heel. Most definitely. We got Chase who says, crazy how Drew becomes Romeo's favorite and he becomes an A+ troll.
It's my favorite wrestler, man. Favorite wrestler of the year. That's funny because this same thing happened to Cody Rhodes. Like, he came to WWE, he got hurt. Yep. And then he had to come back. And he had a hell of a comeback. But he's still trying to finish the story.
Hey, it took him 2 years. It's taking him 2 years. That's all. It's not that bad. 2-year anniversary.
Punk has got to go and get in the best physical shape of his career before he returns. Like, go take steroids if you need to. Go ahead. I don't care. You can do it here. You can do it in WWE. Who's going to test CM Punk? Oh, you're going to test CM Punk.
No,
You got to lift this curse, man.
It was Mox. Mox was right. Mox was the one who said fragile mind, fragile body.
Unless Drew repeated that line. You know how they've been repeating some of the AEW stuff.
Yeah, but you gotta respect the original author, not the plagiarizer. We got in the chat a super chat donation from the one, the only Will Chisholm. Thank you so much, Will. He says, I know there's no reports of Drew signing a new deal, but it feels like he do. I don't know. Anything is possible now, especially with WWE or AEW.
Right. I'm a little worrisome because I know WWE can be cheap and they still have to pay Becky and Seth, which I'm sure is higher on their list than Drew McIntyre. But Drew McIntyre deserves it. Let's be honest.
He does. He's been putting on the best work of his entire second stint, and that includes his great WWE championship run. So, yeah, he deserves a new deal and a big money deal to be a top star for years to come for the company. But let's talk about the what happened next. They go backstage to the Judgment Day. They're getting ready for their tag team title match. They're pleased to find out what's happened to CM Punk with him being out the way. Rhea Ripley told the rest of the Judgment Day they should send a message tonight, a message that they couldn't send at the Rumble. Ripley asked if Damian Priest and Finn Balor were ready, and Priest was completely on board. And Balor said that they would show everyone how vicious they were. DIY cut a promo while walking through the back again. Johnny Gargano said DIY was born 2 hours away from Tampa, and Tommaso Ciampa says they would achieve their dreams tonight because we are DIY. That was very corny. But what wasn't corny was the next matchup. It was the Judgment Day's Finn Balor and Damian Priest defending the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships against Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, DIY. And boy, oh boy, this was the benefit of having commercial-free first hour because we got a hell of an opener here. This matchup got nearly 13 minutes, and it was just back and forth between the two teams. They did isolate Tommaso Ciampa for a while. They did even isolate Gargano for a little bit as well. We get Balor hitting Gargano with the slingshot, then the drop kick, but Gargano avoids the coup de grace. He applies a Gargano escape at one point. Then Priest gets locked into the Sicilian stretch, so they give you a callback of the freaking finish to the best 2 out of 3 falls from back against the Revival at TakeOver Toronto in 2016. But Priest shows off his power. He lifts up Ciampa, drops him on Gargano to break that up. Everyone trades strikes until Priest dropped Ciampa with a thrust kick. Priest dropped Gargano onto the announce table with the flatliner before Ciampa caught Priest in a small package for a near fall. With Gargano out of it, Priest then gets Ciampa up. He hits a razor's edge on him, and then Balor completes the finish with the coup de grace. 1, 2, 3. The Judgment Day retain the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. This was action-packed. This was back and forth. I saw a lot of people comparing it. It was a very PWG Ring of Honor style tag team matchup. It was all thriller, no filler. A hell of a way to kick off the show. A straight-up banger to kick off the show. All 4 men come out of this looking well. And we kind of got what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, where we really felt that DIY wasn't quite ready to win the tag team titles, but we was like, they should be in a matchup where they have a great match with the Judgment Day. They get really close, but the Judgment Day beats them, and we got that here, meaning that eventually, I don't know how soon it will be, but I feel like DIY is like one more title shot away from winning the titles. They have gotten a lot of momentum with the crowd, gaining that connection with the crowd. They're getting time to cut promos. Hopefully that can continue. Hopefully they can get a follow-up feud to continue their momentum. But this was a hell of a statement, a great match to kick off the show. What did you think?
Yeah, especially without the commercial breaks, it felt like a pay-per-view quality match. This could have fit in lovely on the Royal Rumble card and maybe even been match of the night.
It would have. This was better than anything on the Royal Rumble card.
They almost had me fooled here for a title change. Almost. Like that double submission spot had me thinking, whoa, is it gonna happen? DIY got
the meet in the middle too. The meet
They
in
got-
the middle spot, yeah.
but they got beat clean. These wins for Priest and Balor are stacking up. They're looking good. The people they're beating.
Yeah, it's like a who's who. Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, the New Day they've beaten in a non-title
Bros.
match. Huh?
Creed Bros.
Creed Brothers, now DIY, and they seem to be on the road with another tag team that they are going to be defending the titles against. We got Queen Monet, who says DIY versus the Judgment Day was amazing. They even made me think in a few moments that DIY might pull it off. Yeah, there are two instances, was the meet in the middle and the double submission spot, the callback to take over Toronto. That was great. But after the matchup, the Judgment Day B team of Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough run out to celebrate. Priest thought that there is someone that, has been letting Judgment Day show a different side of them, and someone they believe that they owe an apology to. So they call out R-Truth. We get R-Truth coming out to what's up, but he comes out with the CGI of him with the Judgment Day, which is awesome every single time. Every single time. Knocks it out.
Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love. Priest promised Truth that he wouldn't attack him. He tells Truth to get into the ring. Truth claims that he says that he's sorry. He knows what happened last week. He's sorry about what happened at the Royal Rumble. Truth claimed that he traded Priest's money for cryptocurrency and did his taxes and liquidated his assets, so he was all taken care of. Priest says that there's no way you know what any of that means. Truth said that they were like family, and Priest says, yeah, they're like families, and he says, yeah, Priest was like his older brother. And Balor was like that creepy uncle, unpredictable, but we still love him. He says JD was like the stepbrother. He says, what can we say about Tom and Nick Mysterio? And we get complete boos from the crowd. He said, all right, never mind. But JD was like the stepbrother they didn't want to acknowledge, but they had to. And Priest says that Judgment Day was a family, but Truth wasn't in the Judgment Day. Priest liked Truth, though, which is why he wouldn't be the one to do this. Priest calls for Dom to jump Truth, but instead it's JD McDonough who attacks like a rabid animal. McDonough hammers away at Truth until we get the Miz running out to his music. Judgment Day cut off the Miz. The numbers is too much for Awesome Truth, ending with Dominic Mysterio hitting a big old frog splash on the Miz to leave both him and Truth laying. It seems like we might be getting, this is going to be Truth's Sami Zayn Elimination Chamber moment. I think we're getting Judgment Day versus Awesome Truth at the Chamber.
This whole Truth thing has added layers to Priest's character. There's so much needed. It really is making Priest a much more interesting character on TV. The decisions he has to make, the conflict with all this is intriguing to me. This was a nice touch. It was a nice touch having Priest say that Dominic's going to be the one to do this, but it's really JD who jumps in the way. He's like, no, I'm doing this. I hate this guy. And I don't think I've ever been so happy to hear the Miz's music. It's like, come save this guy. Like, it actually seemed like the most babyface Miz has ever been in quite some time, where it really felt that way. And it's funny you say Chamber, man, because I was thinking to myself, has R-Truth ever had a WrestleMania moment?
Oh God, it's not real. It's just a fabricated thing that they just make up.
No, these are real things, man. These are WrestleMania
match, a WrestleMania payday. That's what this business is about.
Has he had a moment?
He
has not, has he? I can't think of one. This would be it. This would be it.
So you think Awesome Truth should win the tag team titles at WrestleMania?
I never thought it. I never thought it.
But Creed brothers. We can get DIY.
This guy is so over. It's really sympathetic shit. I'm rooting for him. That pissed me off when they jumped him. Fuck JD and Dominic. See, it's working for me. I think it's working for a lot of people.
This is what I said, Emmanuel. I was like, I wanted that chamber. I'm good. I was like, I actually want a good match. I want a tag team champions that can lead this, and it's not about just the storyline. But
Listen, hey, I could see it your way, and I could see it the way I'm saying. I could see it both
yeah,
ways.
chilling with Jay sees it like you. He says, "Awesome Truth versus Judgment Day actually feels like something they would do at WrestleMania."
I think in the end, you know how WWE is, like it's just like multi teams, with 4 of them in there.
I can see that too. Multi-man ladder match.
There you go.
Priest's gonna be like, I'm an expert at this. We get Adam Pearce backstage with CM Punk checking on him. Then we go to tag team action. One of the MVPs of the Women's Royal Rumble match, Chelsea Green. The announcement is back. Yes, the announcement is back, and Cole is mimicking Samantha Irvin. She's with Piper Niven to face Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. Nothing much to say here because this match went 2 minutes, 5 seconds. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark get the win as Zoe hits Z360 on Chelsea Green as they pick up some momentum in the women's tag team division that now has new champions in the Kabuki Warriors. So maybe Zoe and Shayna are next up. Any thoughts?
Momentum. Listen,
The Big Mo?
that crowd did not give.
Not a fuck. Not a fuck.
I'll say that Chelsea sold the Z360 very well. Shout out to my birthday twin.
Yeah, I was like, this is where they're giving us multiple women's matches on the show, but it's like
They were the worst parts of the show.
yeah, it's like it's weird. It's weird because when you do it in the first hour, that just had that hot tag team matchup, that fantastic opening segment, and it's just like, how quickly did they just cool down this crowd?
Those were cool down matches, both women's tags.
Yeah. And WWE lied to us because it was 53 minutes commercial free. 8:53 is when it went to commercial.
They always lie.
They always lie. They always lie, y'all. But we kick off the second hour with the 2023-2024 back-to-back Royal Rumble winner, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
So nice he had to hear it twice.
And he comes out to a huge reaction from the crowd. He gets "You deserve it" chants on the way out. Cody says that he heard something for the first time, so he asks Samantha Irvin to say it one more time, announcing him as the winner of the 2023-2024 Men's Royal Rumble matches, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Rose was pumped to hear it again, and Rose knew the fans came to their shows to expect the best action and to escape any worries that they may have, and sometimes the wrestlers needed to escape too. He says the last 48 hours of his life have been quite challenging. He assured us that
for Vince too.
He assured us that all was well, but Rose tears up as he says to the fans that they would never know how much he needed them on Saturday, and he was grateful for that. Rose wanted to make his announcement official for WrestleMania 40, but before he could continue, the music of the World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins interrupts the American Nightmare. Rollins agrees with the fans that Rhodes deserved it. He says they haven't always seen eye to eye, but they've developed over the past year a mutual respect for one another. Rollins congratulated Cody on winning back-to-back Royal Rumbles. Then they shook hands. He says, however, Rollins thought that Cody was making a mistake. He says the first mistake was when it was what he said at the first he said the mistake was that if he fought Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. He says, I think you should fight me instead. This got a mix of yes and no's, but more no's than yes. Rollins says he heard Cody call himself the guy at the press conference. He says, you're not the guy. Roman Reigns is not even the guy anymore. I'm the guy. He gets a little bit of a smatter of booze to that because, bruh, we don't believe you. We don't believe you. But Rollins continues on, and he actually convinces some people. Rollins says the World Heavyweight Championship was the title in WWE. Rollins said that it made sense to go after Reigns last year, but the landscape has changed. Rollins knew that Rhodes has thought of nothing but Roman Reigns for the last year, but Cody Rhodes has been on the ride with Seth Rollins during the past year, and he and Rollins both traveled the towns and worked all the shows. Rollins main evented those shows as with what title? As the World Heavyweight Champion, while Roman Reigns was at home. Rollins said his world title came to be because everyone was sick of Roman Reigns showing up every other month, every 6 months, not at all. And then when he did show up, he would always cheat to retain. He says they didn't need to pretend that Reigns was an untouchable god. They didn't need Roman Reigns at all. Seth Rollins asks, which title does Cody Rhodes really want? Rollins refers to Reigns' title? He says, do you want Roman's title, the Hollywood title, the Hulk Hogan title, the title that meant for posers who use politics to get to the top? Or did Cody want the Dusty Rhodes title, the one that represented the workhorse? Rollins wondered what kind of man is Cody want to be. Cody thinks about it a little. He then gets on the mic and he says that he has an insane amount of respect for Rollins. Cody admitted that this wasn't the last time he figured he'd be thinking about it, but he promised Seth that he would think about it. This actually gets Seth. He's like, "Oh, did I convince him?" He made the look like, this felt like a big stretch and an attempt to kill some time. But Seth Rollins, he came out with an assignment and he convinced some people. So I think that this was a job well done.
Yeah, I got a few things to say about this, and then after this, we could talk about like what direction this world title goes to at Mania. But first, I want to say,
I wanted to hear your thoughts because I do have some other thoughts about the promo in general.
Okay. In hindsight, the decision for Cody to win over Punk worked out fantastic. It would have been a nightmare, no pun intended, if the reverse happened and Punk's hurt. And then what? Yes, we would have got desperate Cody, and that would have been fun. But also after the weekend that WWE had, it felt like they had to ease tension with some fans and telling them that Cody is going to have a chance to finish the story now instead of later. It probably got the whole thing expedited with all the madness that was going on. But I even had a little bit of self-doubt. Like, maybe was that a decision that they did on the fly in the Rumble when Punk got hurt?
No.
I haven't heard anyone.
That was always
anything like that.
That was always the plan. And even if it wasn't like the plan for months, I think that was definitely the plan after Rollins got hurt. Because they was like they can like keep him off TV and they could build to Elimination Chamber, and then Punk could have won that chamber, and then they have 4 weeks to build to the show.
This guy Cody is just the ultimate babyface, man. He was in that presser after the Rumble, and he was again here in this promo when he cracked his voice for saying, "You'll never understand on Saturday how much I needed you." What a babyface! What a babyface! And listen, Seth's promo, that was interesting. That was good stuff. He came out spitting fire. The way he described both titles definitely seemed like enough to convince Cody. Using Dusty, very clever to get to Cody.
Yes.
Seth, he elevated his title with that promo, with how much he spoke of it. He appealed to all those people out there, which there are a lot of people who hate Roman for his schedule, how many times he defends the title, how he wins his matches. I think he resonated with those people. And Cody's response was what it needed to be to keep the story going. He's still going to pick Roman. He better pick Roman. Even with all these injury shakeups, it still better be Cody finishing the story, which he will explain that. That has to be, whenever he does give his answer, he will explain that's why he's picking that. I'd love to see a response from Roman or Heyman on Friday on what they think about this. Who knows if we got that?
Okay. So that's why I wanted to hear your thoughts on it, because I figured you would be a lot more positive than I was about this promo. Like I said, I think that Seth Rollins came out with an assignment. They had to stretch this thing out. He put over his World Heavyweight Championship, made it sound like a tantalizing thing to try to convince Cody to go back on what he's been saying for over the past year. But he did kind of bury the WWE Championship. And then when you think about it, like you said, the obvious thing is that Cody's still going to pick Roman. Therefore, it buries the World Heavyweight Championship. Like, I understand, like, Cody will have a great reason, and he'll explain why he's picking that title, the WWE Championship, and going after Roman and changing the descriptive of the reputation of this title because of what Roman has done to it and taking down that tyrant. It does not take away from that. Yeah, this promo does kind of put it in a position, a no-win position, that yeah, Seth is trying to make it seem like it's not a consolation title, but no matter how many great promos he does talking this title up, it's still the consolation title because Cody's not going to pick it.
Hey, I didn't mind him. It was a great promo. It was a great segment. I enjoyed it, man.
He's like, I didn't even think about that, but
hey. Because he's right in everything he says, though. He's right when he talks about what Roman does and what Roman is and what he represents. He's right. He's also, it's like, you know, you see it both ways.
Dude, but if you gotta beg someone to pick you for WrestleMania, like
it's not begging.
Yes, you are. You're like
I said, I think you should choose me.
You're like the last guy who didn't get asked on a date for City Hawkins dance in high school. You're like the last kid who got picked for kickball. You are begging people at this point to be like, yo, pick me. Because there was 4 people left in the Royal Rumble on Saturday, and they were all from Monday Night Raw, and only one of them made it clear that he was picking Seth Rollins. Even though he's injured, he's the easy champion to go after, but they're like, no, I don't want that secondary title.
Remember, there's also the mutual respect that they mentioned, that they had grown for each other. That's part of why he's appealing to him with this promo.
And
also, but Cody has
Seth knows that he ain't gonna main event WrestleMania if it's not without Cody. Let's go.
There's still a chance.
No, it's not. There's no chance in hell. There's no chance in hell without Punk. No, that's not main event in WrestleMania.
If it's the person I think it is,
it's either Bayley and EO, or it's gonna be Becky and Rhea.
It could. You can't say it's definite. You could.
I'm definite. I'll put money on it. You want to make that bet? You want to put that bet? You want to make that bet?
No, I don't want to make that bet. I said they're both possible. I just said I didn't say definite.
How much you want to put on that bet then? Queen Monet saying, I get what Seth is trying to say, but no. Cody didn't win back-to-back Rumbles to not pick Roman. We got another super chat donation from the one, the only Will Chisholm. Thank you so much, Will. We always appreciate the support. He says, I'm with SP3, Triple H trying to steal Jordan Grace on the slick side. They tried to do it with Julia, but it got hot out. Yeah, they did try to do that, but I think Bushiroad kind of peep game, and they'll be like, and WWE was like, all right, we'll wait till March. Y'all. All right, fine.
She's coming home.
She'll come home then. Kai says that Rollins just came off as desperate. Hopefully this leads to Rollins' heel turn. Emmanuel saying Seth sounded like a pick-me. Yeah, like a pick-me bitch. Yeah. Like every pick-me girl I've ever seen. Will Chisholm. And I'm a Seth Rollins fan. I was the #1 Seth Rollins fan for like 2 weeks. Like just a couple of weeks ago, for like 2 weeks, I was defending Seth Rollins, and why he's been disrespected by Punk and Cody coming back to this company and skipping him in the line. I think that it's a disgrace that without CM Punk, this man does not main event WrestleMania. I think that's horrible. You might say, oh man, they got Gunther right there. Gunther and Seth is not main eventing night one of WrestleMania. I will tell y'all that. I will be the first person to tell y'all that. That's not main eventing night one of WrestleMania. Congratulations. If y'all think that that's going to happen, cool. I've also did believe that Santa Claus was real for a few years of my life. That is great. Cool. But
listen, when it comes to the main event of WrestleMania, I always looked at it as more for CM Punk than Seth Rollins. Because Seth Rollins is always going to have the heist of the century, which is like, I know he wasn't officially in the match to begin with, but he was eventually in the match and he won the match. Yeah. So it's two different things with him and Punk.
Exactly.
As far as main eventing Mania goes.
Will Chisholm saying with another super chat donation. Thank you so much, Will, as always. He says, Seth sounds like the guy who has regular weed and tried to tell you it was Kush. LOL, yes. Him trying to tell me that this is the Workhorse Championship. I'm like, even that, I'm like, no, that's Gunther's title. That's the Intercontinental title. That's been that for like 30 fucking years. What are you talking about? They just made your title because, Roman's not here too often and Seth was complaining a lot. that's what they
he basically said that in his promo.
Yeah, like you have made that plain as day. And you made that plain as day in this promo that the only reason that your title exists is because Roman is not here and you complained enough that they made a new title.
But he made it sound so good in his promo. He elevated that title.
Yeah,
by saying this is our title. This is the workers' title. This is a Hollywood title. This is the politicking title over there. Do you want to go for that? Is that one you want? Is that the company you want to lay in bed with?
Seth is doing the best promo work of his career right now.
It was great.
Great. From the punk book back and forth in December to now, this is the best promo work of Seth's career. Last week with his speech after the injury, this one, he's been
the promo work on Raw. Period is cooking.
This was top notch. Like literally, no one's talking about this promo because everybody's talking about Drew and Punk.
It's all good stuff, though.
We got another super chat donation from Christopher Kidd. Thank you so much, Christopher. He says, Seth is always begging for a WrestleMania match. Always. It seems like that, yo. It seems like this dude is always like begging. Comes off as begging. And it's just like, yo, chill, my dude. You're a star. We know you're a star.
That promo didn't come across as begging to me. I think Seth handled it as perfectly as he could. Perfectly, the material he was given, he handled it in a manner that did not come across as begging for me, me viewing. I'm going to tell you how we got to Gunther Seth at Mania.
Go ahead.
Because as some people may not know, I forgot about this. Since Gunther became a U.S. citizen, he has to stay in the U.S. for, I think, 6 months since at least. He cannot go anywhere.
Yeah.
So he cannot travel to Perth for a chamber. He cannot be in the chamber match. He cannot win it, which we all assume is going to be for number one contender. So what I'm thinking is that I think Sami and Drew are definitely both going to be in it. And I think Sami wins the chamber, maybe by pinning Drew. And then we get some classic WWE convoluted stuff coming out of that. Here's how it's going to go.
Okay.
Gunther, being the, honorable guy that he is, he's going to talk shit to Seth. Sami. He's going to talk shit to him. Like, I couldn't even travel to get this title shot. You being as a man, let's wrestle for it. He's gonna convince Sami to put it on the line against Gunther. Sami's gonna feel bad for him. Sami's a man of honor. He's gonna do it. He'll play the honor game with him. And then Gunther's gonna steal it from him. And probably from Drew helping him and costing Sami. Maybe Drew gets pinned in the chamber by Sami, and Drew gets mad at that. I think that's how we get to Gunther Seth. It's the most WWE way of changing everything around, working with the circumstances.
That's lazy.
It's what if that's the direction you want. Another thing I was thinking, what if they make it like a triple threat, like Seth, Sami, and Drew?
I could see that.
A possibility.
I could see that. That makes because Drew McIntyre feels like he kind of has to be in the championship match now. Like he kind of feels
and they
like
kind of gave away Drew and Sami last night.
Yeah, I was wondering why they did that because I thought that was going to be the WrestleMania match why he came back there. So, yeah, but so they gave away that. So I could see, we got in the chat, chilling with Chase saying fatal 4-way for the title. Gunther, Seth, Sami, and Drew. That protects Sam. That protects Seth because Seth's hurt.
If it's multi-man, it's not so much pressure on Seth, which he's going to put pressure on himself anyways, but. It also depends.
And you're literally putting him in the ring with the 3 guys who were responsible for the best matches at WrestleMania last year.
Awesome. But it also, I think it's dependent on also what they wanted to do with Gunther at Mania, which we know originally is Brock. That's out the window. Do you want Braun to replace that? Do you have Big E laying in the weight still because everything that's going on with that storyline? Is that a possibility? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like confused if that's gonna happen.
I'm confused on that. I'm confused. Do you want to have Braun come in and step in and be that guy and take it?
Sounds like
have him have that moment.
We're gonna get to that, but it sounds like Braun's going to SmackDown.
Crazy. Are they trying to build a youth movement on SmackDown? All the young guys I got over there. The next SmackDown 6 or something.
SmackDown Youth Movement. There we go. We got. I think this is Jan. He says
Jan Vaca.
John Vaca, who says odds of Rhea and Becky's main event in WrestleMania with the unfortunate news of injuries to CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Does this now open the door for the women to step up in main event once more? I always said that. I said that when Seth was injured, that now it opened the door for Becky and Rhea because of the promo that they had where it really set the tone for them to have a WrestleMania main event quality build. And now you got kind of Becky kind of refining herself and having to now she's going to be playing the role of what we thought Cody was going to do, of having to go through the chamber and fight through everyone to get to WrestleMania. That's going to be Becky's path instead. And Becky and Rhea, I think the odds, I will put it at what's high odds, but not so high odds. 9-1.
Okay. Listen. Everybody wants. I understand because of the star power. They're definitely worthy of it. Rhea and Becky. Me personally, for the story, I'd rather want Bayley and Io. Me personally.
I feel you. But that's also like SmackDown main events both nights.
Well, they couldn't get a single person in like the last 15 of the Rumble. Jeez, make it up for them.
So the main event WrestleMania? Come on, they're not good enough to be in the Rumble. They shouldn't be main eventing no damn WrestleMania. Christopher Kidd says, begging as far as he never has a match for Mania when February starts and always scrambles.
That does seem to be a pattern.
Yeah, like that's why I said, like,
funny.
I understand what you were saying, like, it didn't come off like that in this, but in general, his character has become that. It has become that.
Very more so
over like the last 4 years. Over the last 4 years, it's been like that. His matchup with Cesaro back in 2021 not made until like very late in the build.
The Cody one,
2020, Kevin Owens. Yeah, I'm not going to bring up the Cody is obvious. That wasn't announced until the night of him and Logan Paul. That actually started at the Royal Rumble. So I will give that credit. That was kind of the outlier of all of this. But 2020, him and Kevin Owens were feuding for a while, but I didn't really think that was going to be the WrestleMania match until like very late in the build to that. And then 2019 was the last time was when he won the Royal Rumble.
Yep. John Cena's done it before. Remember with The Undertaker? He did it. They always have this like, someone doesn't have a path to WrestleMania. They love doing that.
That sucked though. Eric Isaac says Seth is hurt himself. Yes, he is. We got Chilling with Chase, who says, I think they're going to SmackDown because of the fact SmackDown going to be on USA and later this year. So some NXT tie-in, since most of those guys were on NXT, makes sense for USA, planning for the future.
That makes all the sense in the world when you think about it.
Yep, I could see that. All right, let's get to what was next. What was next was singles action, as they said it on commentary, so I have to repeat this. Yeet versus Meat as it was Jey Uso going one-on-one with Bronson Reed.
I tried to hold in my laughter, but
Yeah, and it's like, why? Why would you do that to me? But yeah, Jay had to fight from underneath in this one, and this felt like a really kind of David versus Goliath type of matchup. You get Bronson Reed hitting a big, avoiding the Uso splash, hitting a big Death Valley driver, getting a near fall. Jay avoids the tsunami. He hits a super kick, followed by a big old spear, and then he finishes things off with the Uso splash to get the 1-2-3. Very competitive matchup here, going 9 minutes 22 seconds, and Jey Uso getting his first real impressive singles victory since coming to Monday Night Raw. He has another singles victory over Ludwig Kaiser, but this is probably the most impressive and a lot more impressive than the Ludwig Kaiser win for Jey. So what did you think about Jey Uso getting the victory here?
agreed. Strong win for Jey, overcoming the odds against a much bigger opponent. I wanted to ask you, I think Jay's a lock for this chamber match for sure. I think Sami and Drew are locks. Do you think it's all Raw guys, or you think they slip one or two SmackDown guys in there to beef up the star power?
I can see them putting Jimmy in there.
I could see that too.
They honey dicked us with Jimmy and Jay in the Rumble. Like they had their little sequence when it was just them two, but they barely acknowledged each other.
Why did first of all in the original script, why did Brock have to get rid of Jimmy? And second of all, why did Braun have to do that too?
Exactly.
It should have been Jimmy and Jay.
Why don't WWE like understand that a person eliminating another person is like the simplest way to build to a WrestleMania?
They've known it. They just were very lazy at this point with Jimmy.
Even with Brock and Gunther, like why is Dom at least like have Dom and Gunther eliminate Brock? Like at least that. Like come on, what are we doing?
Do you think you don't put Bronson Reed in that match, do you? You don't want to put him in a position where he gets cheered.
You do. You put him in the chamber. You put him in the chamber. He looked good in the chamber last year.
Yeah, but are they gonna cheer him or boo him?
They're gonna cheer him. So what? It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. He'll have a spotlight moment. He'll look good, and it's a big matchup for him to be in. I like it. You have a Priest in there?
Who would be the last guy? So far, I think we got
Balor.
5.
Bala. Or someone from SmackDown.
So then they're not gonna have that tag match with Awesome Truth then.
Oh no, yeah, you do that. Dominic. Since Dominic lost out on the Brock match. We get Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods in a cutting a promo on tonight's Intercontinental Championship matchup against Gunther. He says that the New Day is known for for the bootios and the trombones, but winning championships is what they did, and he would beat Gunther to become a 5-time Intercontinental Champion. We also get a video highlighting Braun Breaker's performance in the Royal Rumble, and then we go backstage. We also get highlights of Andrade returning to WWE in the Royal Rumble, and then we get him signing a new contract with Monday Night Raw with Adam Pearce in the back. Nick Aldis, the SmackDown general manager, comes in and actually is surprised to see Andrade signing. He says SmackDown had a great offer for Andrade, so Pearce told him that they should have been quicker. Andrade shakes both of their hands and then he leaves, but before leaving, he tells Aldis to say hi to Zelina Vega for him. Aldis and Pearce discuss things, and Aldis is a little annoyed that Pearce was doing business this way, especially after he loaned them Bayley for the night. And their meeting is ended when Aldis gets a call from none other than former NXT champion Braun Breaker, and the crowd was buzzing hearing Braun Breaker's name here. So, like we were saying earlier, it looks like Braun is going to SmackDown, Andrade to Raw. So maybe if Gunther is not the replacement for Punk in the world title scene, Gunther versus Andrade for the Intercontinental Championship?
I couldn't buy Andrade winning, but that'd be a hell of a physical little match, I'll tell you that much. Shit. Andrade looked like $1 million. $1 million. I like the little shout out to Zelina. And welcome to Raw, Andrade. You'll be feuding with the Judgment Day in no time. Welcome
He
to
says
Raw.
everybody fused with the Judgment Day.
That was a great return serve by Aldis. Like, oh, who's this from? Oh, I got to take this. This is from Braun Breaker. I like Aldis, man. Whenever they do the draft, which is hopefully a bit after Mania,
Yeah,
they're gonna have fun with Aldis and Pierce going at it.
absolutely. That's going to be great. Manuel saying Andrade versus Gunther would be fire. We got Chili with Chase who says Aldis versus Pierce, if ever happens, would be the best JM versus GM match ever. Yes, 2 former NWA World Heavyweight Champions.
Was Pierce good? I never really saw Pierce in the ring.
Yeah, he was a part of like Ring of Honor when Bryan Danielson was champion and Homicide was there, Nigel McGuinness, Cole Cabana. He had a good ride. He was like basically the surrogate for Jim Cornette. Basically, Jim Cornette was his mouthpiece. When I first started watching Ring of Honor in 2006, Jim Cornette was the mouthpiece and like the authority figure, and Adam Pearce was like his number one henchman.
Did he end up getting like injured or something?
He
just kind of just stopped wrestling.
Yeah, he just kind of stopped wrestling. He got hired by WWE as a producer, and the rest is
history.
But yeah.
Can I say a few things about the show in general? I love the sliding graphics that they got for everybody. Nice work by the graphic production team.
I liked on Seth's thing. It told us that he was champion for 247 days.
Nice. And the weekend, 5 years in a row. The theme for WrestleMania. This guy is a Hall of Fame. What an album. What an album, SP3. You heard this album? This album is amazing, bro. Hit after hit after hit. The longevity for 5 years.
Woo. It's the same album they've been getting songs from?
No, it's split into 2. It's 2 albums, sorry. But still, I'm ready for the next album. Let's go make it 10 years.
Oh God, please.
This is great stuff.
Can't do
great song. Love it.
Weekend. Gunther says that Kingston was fighting for his legacy tonight and was in for the fight of his life. But Gunther would forget about him after tonight. Nobody would be thinking about Kofi after tonight, while Gunther will continue on as the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
Good shit from Gunther.
Always.
For you, it's the fight of your life. For me, it's just another night.
For me, it's just another night. Gunther is just so nonchalant, but I love him. I still love him so dearly. But we get highlights from the Women's Royal Rumble matchup, and I like them once again highlighting Jordynne Grace, the TNA Knockouts World Champion, being in the matchup as one of the major surprises in the matchup. And then we got a separate highlight package for none other than Jade Cargill with a sensational debut in the Women's Royal Rumble matchup, highlighting her elimination of Nia Jax and being the star that she was. And that led into a backstage interview with the man Becky Lynch with Jackie.
Before you say that, before you go into that, shout out to my good friend Jordynne Grace, and noticeably absent from Raw was Jade Cargill. Sounds like maybe she'll be the SmackDown too.
I wouldn't,
especially if the rumor, what we all think, is her and Bianca.
Well, I wouldn't take too much into it because this is a week after a pay-per-view, and sometimes they just leave people off the TV. So I wouldn't say that this is like a hint that she's going to be on SmackDown, but maybe it is more likely. Yeah.
Another question for you: would you mind Jade and Bianca being a tag team first?
I wouldn't
before
mind.
Having their match.
I wouldn't mind
maybe
that.
Just wrecking the Kabuki Warriors at Mania.
I mean, hey, them being a tag team and her having like someone that has her back against Damage Control would be interesting.
All right. Becky.
Yes, Jackie Redmond interviews Becky Lynch backstage talking about the loss in the Royal Rumble matchup. Becky says that she let a lot of people down, including herself, but it wasn't in her nature to stay down. She would train a little harder, think a little smarter, fight a little dirtier, and she would stop at nothing until she was back at the top and main eventing with the title. Any thoughts on what Becky had to say?
She said main eventing. I think she knows. I think someone tipped her off.
She's like, I think she knew during that first promo with Rhea.
Boo. Bailey and Io. I'm Team Bailey and Io.
Becky's like, don't flinch. She's like Cody. She's following in Cody's footsteps. She's like, don't flinch. I'm getting night one.
We've already had Becky, close out of Mania on top. We don't need another one.
Remember what she said to Rhea, though. Remember what she said. She says, I headlined WrestleMania and I won. You haven't headlined WrestleMania. This is Rhea's moment. This is Rhea's
She better win then.
Of course. Yeah. I never thought that Becky Lynch was beating Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania.
Because I could see it.
I can't.
Becky, can we get your name on the dotted line here on this contract? You want us to sweeten the pot? Okay, you win night one main event of WrestleMania. Sign.
Oh God, no, Becky's not that. She's not like that. Stop it. We got Emmanuel says the weekend is Mr. WrestleMania. We also got Emmanuel who says, what's the plan for Naomi? Which is a very interesting question. I can see her. You can see her going after Io in the lead up to WrestleMania. Maybe they do the women's elimination chamber for the WWE Women's Championship.
I'll tell you what the plan is for Naomi. Yeah, but I agree with that. That's a good in the meantime. WrestleMania though, she's gonna help her husband win.
I'm the one that predicted that. I predicted that weeks ago. I'm just trying to figure out something for her to do as a baby face because she did get
it ain't gonna last long.
She did get a great baby face reaction though. So
it ain't gonna last long because Jade could do that.
But yeah, that's the long-term thing. I think at WrestleMania she helps Jimmy, that bum, get
Welcome to the bloodline.
The bloodline as it's broken up as they lose their fucking title. The fuck? She joined. How the fuck you joining the Lakers in 2016? like not in 2000, not in 2020, in 2016 when we're losers. Like that's her joining the bloodline at WrestleMania 40. That's fun. We got next up Intercontinental Championship matchup. Gunther defending against the 4-time champion Kofi Kingston, and this one is a Gunther matchup, so you know it's going to be physical right away. He applies a Boston Crab that we abruptly go to a commercial break like 47 seconds into the matchup, but Gunther dominates the pitcher-in-pitcher break. Then he dominates for a while when we come back until Kofi fires back with a forearm. Gunther cuts him off with a net breaker. He reapplies the Boston Crab again and again. They go to a commercial break while they go to the Boston Crab again. That was like the cue. Kingston goes for a dive, but Gunther catches him and shoves him hard into the side of the ring, his head connecting with the apron, which looked really nasty. But Kingston eventually makes his comeback. He starts fighting back in this one, hitting some big moves. He hits a big dive on Gunther. Then he hits a big drop kick in the ring after the consecutive dives. He comes in the ring, hits a big trouble in paradise, but Gunther rolls out of the ring before Kofi could make the cover. They fight on the outside for a little bit where Gunther is draped over the steel steps and Cody comes off the guardrail with a big elbow drop. He then gets him inside the ring and hits a big boom drop off the top ropes onto Gunther. Gunther then blocks a trouble in paradise, and then he locks on and he tries to lock on another Boston Crab, but Kofi's able to counter into a cradle. Gunther hits a big clothesline, but Kingston's able to reverse another clothesline into an SOS for a near fall. We get a "This is awesome" chant, but Gunther finally puts him away with a big old clothesline, another drop kick, and then a big power bomb. 1, 2, 3. The only nitpick that I have on this matchup was the finish did feel a little anticlimactic. I thought that they could have got the crowd to an even higher level if Kingston kicks out of the power bomb and Gunther has to hit one more. And I think that Kingston, being a former WWE champion, it's not out the realm of possibility for him to kick out of the power bomb. And because Gunther has so many finishers, it doesn't kill his finisher in no way. So That's my only nitpick, but this was an absolutely great match between these two men. Excellent chemistry between these two guys. Kofi played a really strong underdog babyface against the monster that is Gunther, and Gunther continues to deliver these instant bangers with the Intercontinental Championship on the line. After the matchup, Xavier Woods comes in and tries to help Kofi Kingston up, but Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser, Giovanni Vinci, they come in, they lay out New Day, they run Kofi and Xavier into the ring post, and Gunther is very pleased with their work. What did you think about Gunther versus Kofi Kingston and the attack afterwards?
Yeah, another banger. That spot where Kofi slid to the outside, Gunther caught him and launched him into the apron. That was brutal. I let out a loud gasp. And Kofi gave it his all. He take out the commercials, and this felt like another pay-per-view quality, well, the picture-in-picture pay-per-view quality match. Gunther wins. The beatdown of Imperium on New Day after had me thinking, oh man, is this the night? Is this going to be it? Is this the moment, Big E? Nope, it was sadly not. I thought maybe even a Jey Uso save, since it appeared weeks prior. We may be heading to Jey versus Gunther next, but not even that either. So this rivalry continues to burn. It's got to be leading to something. Got to be leading to something if you want to keep it going like this. I'm hoping, but I don't know. I want that moment so bad, but I don't know.
It's so bad. So
it's gonna hit, man.
We got Frantic World in the chat who says, I thought Andrade was going to SmackDown because Charlotte is there. Charlotte's not going to be here for like another at least 6 months. So I think by then, I think in the draft, Charlotte will be going over to Raw.
Right. Yeah. You don't have to worry about where he is now because, yeah, he's still going to have the draft.
Exactly. Yeah. You either way. Yeah. He could be drafted to SmackDown tomorrow. Yeah. In the draft. So. We got a super chat donation from our boy Will Chisholm. Thank you so much, Will. He says, "Ask TBA, can they just use TNA, not TBA? We asked TNA, can they use Jordynne Grace to run back her and Naomi 3 at Mania? You ain't getting more than one non-title women's match or." TNA Knockouts title on the line to WWE is like a non-title women's match. You're only gonna get one, so we might want to use that on Bianca and Jade, and Naomi can be used in the Uso battle.
Right, and even then, that could be a women's tag title match. So who knows?
Also true. Yeah, that can be you don't know how the women's tag team titles are going to be involved, and now they actually have champions worthy of being involved on the card. Because speaking of which. Nice segue there. You get the women's tag team champions, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, going up in a non-title matchup against Natalya and Tegan Nox. Natalya and Tegan Nox did not get along too well at the Royal Rumble, causing each other's eliminations in the matchup. But here they had more miscommunication, it seemed. It just seems like they can't get on the same page following their loss in the Royal Rumble matchup. And once again, the Kabuki Warriors took advantage of that. This match got a little bit of time, 9 minutes, 49 seconds. Of course, that was with the commercial break involved, but still a solid bout, ending with Asuka and Kairi hitting the insane oboe reverse DDT combination for the 1, 2, 3. Our women's tag team champions. What do you think about Kairi and Asuka as the champions and this match here?
They're great champions, obviously. They are the best women's tag team in the whole division as it stands currently. Kane and Katana got kind of dick, though. Oof, man. They gave them titles and like, yeah, we'll take those back. Thank you very much. As far as the match goes, Tegan tried to fire up the crowd. She got absolute crickets.
This was definitely quiet. Definitely.
But Natalya, my favorite wrestler for the next year, she did incredible when she tried to fire up the crowd. She got a reaction, so... Tegan the moron ignoring Natalya's tag. Like, you're not going to listen to a veteran. The BOAT, the best of all time. Ridiculous.
She thinks she know it all and shit. She thinks she all that in a bag of potato chips, dog. These kids, man. When will these kids learn?
Ridiculous.
Get off my porch. But yeah, I think we're leading to a Tegan and Natalya rivalry, even though they've only like teamed up like 6 times.
Yeah.
It's like, do you expect people to care? I'm like confused. I'm like, do they really want people to care, or are they just
No.
trying to kill time?
Well, I care about Natalya. She's my favorite, but Tegan I don't care for.
Fair. All right, in the back, Jackie Redmond interviews Katana Chance and Kaden Carter about the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, and they inform her that they will be getting their title rematch next week on Raw. Dakota Kai and Io Sky are joining Asuka and Kairi in the ring when we get the introduction for the winner of the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble matchup. Bayley gets on the mic and she advises the fans that they should take a picture. They should take a picture considering it was the first time they have ever seen the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the WWE Women's Champion, and the Royal Rumble winner in the ring at the same time. And they had her to thank for that. Everyone claimed that Bayley wasn't as good as she used to be, but she didn't listen to anybody's opinion. She wasn't even on the Rumble poster, but she was the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble winner. They have the most stacked women's roster ever, and she came out on top. Not only that, she also beat Rhea Ripley's record by lasting over 63 minutes. You hear that, Michael? 63 minutes. Ripley, we get Bayley talking more trash until Rhea Ripley comes down to the ring and she starts to interrupt Bayley, talking about how Bayley can choose her, but it would stay the same, that everyone in Damage Control has a title but Bayley, and that would stay the same after WrestleMania if she chooses to pick her. But her promo is quickly cut off by none other than the irresistible force, Nia Jax. She attacks Rhea Ripley from behind. Ripley tries to fight back, but Jax cuts her off. She hits 3 consecutive leg drops to lay Rhea Ripley out in the ring. Then she goes up top and she goes to the middle rope. Excuse me, it won't go up top. She goes to the riddle rope and she hits the Annihilator as Damage Control looks on until Nia looks over at Bayley. All of Damage Control bail and leave Bayley on her own as Jax gets in Bayley's face, and she warns her that Rhea Ripley wasn't making it to WrestleMania. And Bayley nervously said, "Oh, yeah. Before you interrupt me, I was gonna say I'll make my decision on Friday." And Io Sky did not look pleased at all. So, what did you think about this segment? The promo from Bayley, all the fallout with Rhea and Nia, as well as Io's facial expression to Bayley waiting until Friday to make her decision.
Yeah, Io was subtle, but I thought she was great on the outside. Just using her eyes mostly.
She did like this. She's like,
teasing Rhea, Nia, Elimination Chamber showdown. That's all good. The big hook for SmackDown, because whenever the Bayley challenging Io segment happens, it's gonna hit like crack. You have an opportunity to make this really good. Like I'm talking about when Batista chose Triple H, that kind of good.
Do you think we're getting it on SmackDown? I don't think we're getting it on SmackDown. I don't think they've done enough to set up the whatever it's going to be that Bayley realizes that Damage Control is working against her. I don't think they've done enough. Yes,
I hope they're not giving it away that quickly, because you could take your time with this and tell a more elaborate story. But they definitely like hooked it like it's going to, just to make you probably tune in and like bait and switch you. They do that a lot.
Yeah, Jey Uso making this decision on the bloodline. That lasted like what, 3 weeks?
This is a bait and switch, I hope.
I'm hoping too. I'm actually hoping for this too. We do have another super chat donation from Will Chisholm. Thank you so much, Will. He says, "I love Bayley's pimp coat. They do look like a Stardom factory, though. Yeah, does look like some of the Stardom stars, the kind of jackets they wear to the ring that Bayley was wearing.
Well, she looked great. I love it too.
Decked out.
Oh,
we got Fritz.
I got another thing. Has Dakota's knee brace been off before, or is that the first time? Okay,
I think so. Frantic World says Nia Jax is looking very good lately. This is the best work of her career. The best she's come back to WWE.
Correct.
She's doing well on the mic. She's doing well as a heel monster character, getting great heat, and she's put on decent to actual good matches.
And this will be a huge match for her at Chamber because the crowd is going to be so behind Rhea.
Yeah. The Wrestling Lowdown says, are they going to reveal Bailey understands Japanese and speaks it?
That would be hilarious.
She knew this whole time. She knew this whole time.
She just starts speaking Japanese mad fluently. That would be funny.
We got Queen Bonet says they'll probably do it soon if the Elimination Chamber is going to end up being a contender for Rhea's title. Yeah, that is true. I think that's why they're advertising it for Friday, is because they want to start promoting the chamber.
Right.
But backstage we see Drew McIntyre being interviewed by Jackie Redmond, and he says that all he has done was tell the truth. McIntyre has wrestled Zayn many times, but Zayn has won 0 times, and that wasn't changing tonight. And he tells them to hit my music as he walks through the curtain. And next,
he's feeling himself, bro. He is on top of the world. You cannot ruin Drew McIntyre's day. He was so cocky there.
Cock of the walk. Drew McIntyre going one-on-one with Sami Zayn is our main event, and immediately this becomes very physically intense. We get McIntyre chucking Sami over the announce table just 30 seconds into the matchup. He gets back into the ring. He tosses Sami. He gets back into the ring. Sami looks like he's about to get counted out, so Drew gets back out. He tosses Sami back into the ring. He warns McIntyre, Pat McAfee, not to talk any trash about him, but Zayn uses that distraction to hit a suicide dive, taking McIntyre over the announce table himself. McIntyre regains control, but Zayn fights back. He hits a huge sunset flip powerbomb off the middle rope for a 2 count, and then he follows up with a tornado DDT. McIntyre hits a big sit out powerbomb, and then he hits a spine buster and then a sit out powerbomb for a 2 count. Zayn's arm was hurt, so he couldn't get McIntyre up for a suplex, so McIntyre responds with the Glasso kiss. McIntyre goes to the top rope, but Sami Zayn fights him off, hits a big superplex. He goes for a luva kick, but McIntyre drops him with the big lariat, but Sami eventually hits a blue thunder bomb for a close near fall. McIntyre hits a big overhead suplex and the white noise off the middle rope for a near fall, and then McIntyre shoves Zayn while telling him that some people were just out of his league. Zayn fires back. He goes for the luva kick, but McIntyre gets his hands up to block it while ducking down, low blowing Sami at the same time. It's played off as inadvertent by Drew McIntyre and the referee. This allows McIntyre enough time to hit the Claymore 1, 2, 3, and once again, Drew McIntyre defeats Sami Zayn. This one was given about 13 minutes, really delivering another great matchup on this show. 3 for 3 on TV bangers on this show. Physically intense, hard-hitting matchup. Really delivered here. A strong matchup. But yeah, if we're going to do Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre again, Sami has to win one of these, doesn't he?
Is he going to win the big one? I don't know. What is the Mania match going to be? Oh my goodness, I'm so confused. But yeah, because you're giving away Drew and Sami again on TV. It can't be the one-on-one WrestleMania match. Can't be. I don't think so.
Maybe with a step? I don't
know. But another good TV match. These two, that every time they step in the ring, they got great chemistry. Commentary did a good job putting over the force that Drew is. I love the blue thunder bomb counter on the Claymore. That was nice. I thought the finish was creative, blocking the haluva kick with an accidental low blow. It wasn't accidental to Michael Cole. He was buying that shit. But Drew's heel character just continue to add to it here, winning in a heelish way, but maybe it was an accident. Yeah, whatever. But good stuff, Drew.
Hey, Drew's an honest man. He's always telling the truth. That's all he ever does. All he ever does. Don't spite him because he tells the truth.
I don't know what's gonna happen at Mania, man.
I'm interested. Drew McIntyre is a
Drew and
very big
Seth.
piece. He's a very mystery big piece of the WrestleMania card, especially now of no Brock Lesnar and no CM Punk.
Drew and Seth. I would be down for Drew, Seth, and Sami. Triple threat. You could get that somehow. I don't know. Gunther, Seth. I don't know.
Yeah. It's very interesting how everything's gonna play out. Now there's a lot more. It looked like a month ago I had the whole WrestleMania card like kind of laid out in my head, and now that's been thrown for a loop.
Shit in the garbage.
Safet saying Liv Morgan will be one of the women that's gonna be in the Elimination Chamber. That is probably right too.
Mm-hmm.
I can see Liv in that as well. But that brings us to a close on the show, the Monday Night Raw from January 29th, 2024. Let us know in the live chat. Last call for Super Chat donation. As always, guys, you guys have been awesome. Want to thank Will and Chris, as always. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. And, of course, last call for your match of the night, MVP, LVP, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and what you gave the show out of 10 for me and Romeo for the January 29th, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board from both of us. Out of 10, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Ooh, you are spitting SP3 because that's what I gave it. This is the best Raw we have seen in all of our rated Raw reviews. This is the highest score. You guys in the chat, vote in the poll if you haven't already. 59% of you are disagreeing with us. You think it's more towards the 7 range. 21% of you think an 8 like us. 10% said 9. 10% said a perfect 10 out of 10.
Like, what are you looking for? We got 3 great matches in Gunther, Kofi, DIY Judgment Day, and the main event with Sami and Drew. Had an excellent opening segment with the CM Punk's emotional promo, the angle, Drew McIntyre with a tremendous rebuttal, and the angle that they did after that, the Seth and Cody promo. There was good backstage promos, good video package, good focus on the Royal Rumble. This is like a high 8. High 8
For
at
sure.
best. Like the lowest you could go is an 8 out of 10 to me. Like this is one of the most complete WWE TV episodes of just like pro wrestling quality that we have gotten in quite some time on either of the main roster or NXT.
100. Like the only duds were probably the women's tag matches. That's it.
Yeah,
you know,
and they were quick, so
yeah.
I can get over that.
Yeah, if those was something else that was entertaining, it might be a perfect show. A 10 out of 10.
Yeah, definitely. If those were more interesting, then yeah, I would give this a 10 out of 10. What was your match of the night, Romeo?
Tough. But I'm gonna go with Gunther Kofi.
Then I will go with DIY and Judgment Day. I think that like it's totally up in the air which one you like more, but I did like that one a little bit more. Like I slept on it and then I woke up and I was like, yeah, DIY Judgment Day is the one I'll rate a little bit higher than Gunther and Kofi, even though that was great. Sami and Drew was also great. So 3 great matches. This was one of the hardest match of the nights I've had to give, but DIY DIY and Judgment Day. Your MVP for the show, Romeo.
I'm gonna give it to 3 guys who delivered outstanding promos: Drew, Seth, and Punk.
I'm going to give it to Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. CM Punk's promo was absolutely outstanding. So much emotion, so much passion. Enjoyed the hell out of that. But Drew McIntyre is the best character. He delivers a great matchup on the show, a fantastic angle with CM Punk. Yeah. If it wasn't for Punk really showing a different side of himself with the emotion that he showed, this would easily be another MVP by himself from Drew McIntyre. LVP, Romeo.
I'm going to give 1 to The Miz for making a save and getting his ass kicked. And I'm going to give 1 to Tegan Nox for ignoring our partner Natalya and losing.
Yeah, I was going to say the Tegan Nox and Natalya is my LVP because they shouldn't even be a tag team to begin with. So why are we even teasing dissension?
I can't give LVP to my favorite wrestler. I'm biased.
You're biased. Romeo, thank you so much. As always, Rated Raw Review. I have so much fun doing this. It's so fun.
I'm glad you do. Me too.
I get to do a show with you every week, so it's fun. So let the people know where they can follow you on social media when they'll see you next.
Appreciate everyone in the chat. Appreciate the super chats. They help support the channel. They help support me. Support me. Help me. You can follow me for Romeo Anthony on all forms of social media. Check me out right here on True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Don't know if we'll do a Vengeance Day watch along. Stay tuned for that. If so, remember that is Sunday night, not Saturday. And check me out on True Hill Heat Sports. I don't know if we'll do a Super Bowl watch along, but stay tuned to that.
Were.
I'm down for it, but I need a co-host. Everybody seems to be having a party.
Oh, everybody wants to party.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can follow me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content, the True Hill Heat Prediction Championship, plus much, much more. ProWrestlingTees.com, foryourwear.com gets your True Hill Heat merchandise, and go over to True Hill Heat Sports right now and subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out all the great content we got over there. All the great content we got here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, like the flagship podcast from this past Saturday, True Hill Heat 261, talking about the Vince news, Rock, Netflix, WWE Raw, our WWE Royal Rumble review. Romeo was there, True Jaw Josh, Stat King, Ness, everyone. It was a good old time with our review. You also had Collision Discourse with myself and Sober Guy JJ from yesterday. Go over and check that out as well. But me and Romeo will be back with you next Tuesday to review Monday Night Raw. Drop the thumbs up on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you are new. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been Rated Raw Review number 8. I prayed for this for the January 29th, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw. We are signing off until next time.